What's up?
Hey, hey. Can you
Can
hear
you
me?
can you
Can you
hear
hear
me?
me okay?
I can hear you.
Awesome. I couldn't
Yeah,
find my earbuds, so hopefully the speakerphone works all right for you.
yeah, we're good.
Awesome.
Is that asylum?
That is.
Nice.
I'm over here at my slab storage, so I'll give a quick pan around looking outside.
So is that a farm?
Yeah, it is. I just rent the barn here. There's a farmhouse over there, and of course
Right.
but yeah, I just rent the barn. This farmer owns 7, 8, 9 farms. I don't know, something like that. This one's 300 acres, and he rents out the houses and some of the buildings.
And
So,
he just wants the land. What is he farm?
crops, soybeans, corn mostly. It rotates. It's soybeans here this year, so
Right. How's your day?
pretty good. Um, Stacked some wood in the morning, stacked some wood in the afternoon, and met with a client this afternoon, and
So
went over
are,
some details.
are you doing this full time now?
Yeah, it's full time. I've been full time since 2013, winter of 2013, so like December
Okay.
to 24.
Wow. What's that like?
It's pretty sweet. I mean, it has its pros and cons, um, but yeah, I enjoy it. I mean, I would do. I had to cut back on the slabs, like getting wood, because I was just getting so much, and I turn wood down pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I can tell you that's not, as long as I've done this, because I have the space, I just took it, and I took it, and I took it.
Yeah.
But there's only so much you can do with it.
When did
And
you start?
14 years ago?
14. Is that right?
Yeah, like
That's awesome.
06.
Awesome. So
And
that's 2006.
yeah, and having space and the ability to receive wood
Yeah.
are two very misleading things. It's an artificial sense of growth, of security, of the business. And what you need to be doing is milling, stacking based on your ability to sell, not on your ability to accumulate.
Yeah. That's a
Very
lesson
different.
I'm still learning that.
Yeah, yeah, and right now, that's costing me to move my yard and the material. It's about $25,000.
That's
Just material that costs the containers, the kiln, um, all of the slabs, the reclaimed lumber, the logs, the whole bit, everything. But it's all a part of the process, and you need
yeah.
to determine, what your market is, where you want to be in the market, and how you're going to allow your business to grow to suit what it is you do.
Yeah.
And the thing about the slab business is, as you know and as I know, anybody can get it. Wood miser wants a saw in your backyard, your neighbor's backyard, and that neighbor's backyard. They don't care
Yeah.
because they want to sell saws.
Yeah.
So part of what we do is based on supply and demand.
Yep.
You and I make furniture and sell slabs. Jimmy down the street just wants to sell slabs because it's easy getting trees. So whatever market that we try to go for it, he doesn't care
Yeah.
because he wants to sell slabs. So he's going to undercut. So now it's difficult for you to grow in that market because Jimmy has multiplied 5,000.
Yeah. Especially in this area. I mean, we have so much wood in this area. We are blessed. I mean, trees just grow like weeds here. And it's insane how many sawmills there are around, like commercially, and then just like homeowners that. It's crazy.
Yeah, you froze a little bit. Yeah, it is. It's crazy. So, you know, in talking to Roger at Rico, whom we're talking about sharing a yard together,
Okay.
he's like, we calculated it until we only need to mill 4 months out of the year. And I'm like, because I mill 12 months out of the year. But I don't need to. Because I'm not moving that much lumber. So I'm going to take his advice.
Yeah.
and I'm only going to mill X amount of times out of the year. Now, if something comes in and it's nice, and they want to mill it now, we'll mill it now. But as a rule, just let it sit for a couple of months until we get to it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I remember before, there was like about 6 months, I had guys, and we would mill on Mondays and Tuesdays and do the work on Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays. That worked fine. That worked fine. We milled a lot of lumber. And it was the same 2 guys who were building the furniture, so they cared about how it was cut. So, yeah. All right, so let's get this tour started. Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you been collecting slabs? Let's talk about your slab thing. You've been collecting.
That actually started a little bit before I started Steel and Grain. Trying to think. I built a house. We can get into that more, but I built a house for someone, and we used some of the wood from their property, and they had more than they needed, so they gave me like a whole trailer load of oak. And that was probably 2005. So I've been collecting logs since then, 9 years, something like that. Once I started building furniture, then my woodworking got a little out of control.
Yeah, it's easy to do. So
Yeah.
you collect the logs, and your sawyer cuts the logs.
Yep. Yeah, I haul them right to the mill. That's one of my dreams someday, is to just have enough space that I can just have a yard that can drop logs off. Because there's all kinds of people around here that just need a spot, tree trimmers that need a spot to get rid of their logs, and then they could just drop them, and I could mill what I want and burn what I don't. Yeah, so my tractor is actually, if you would go up over that hill, he's about a mile that way. Yeah, I put all my logs out there, and then they said he probably mills, I don't know, mills for me maybe 4 times a year, 6 times a year, something like that. And he'll mill, 2 big loads or something like that each time. Just depends. And then I stack the sticker after that.
Yeah, I think that's it. Logs you need.
Yep.
A mill you don't.
No.
Because if you get a mill, that's going to take away from the furniture.
Yeah, I have people ask me all the time, when are you getting your own mill? He charges me $55 or $65 an hour to mill. I charge $55 an hour shop time. Like, I can't make any money off of milling. Like, plus he does a great job. It's him and his son. They let them do the work. They're good at it. I mean, it would be hard, but it's not going to make me any money.
Yeah. You want to have some fun? Go help him out.
Yeah.
Don't get him in. It's not. You're doing it the right way.
Thanks.
Because when you get a mill, you have to maintain the mill.
Yeah.
That's gas. That's blades. And then it's a mess.
Yeah.
You don't need to. You only need the material.
Yep. And
That's all you need.
I'm super fortunate to have. I mean, he can mill 69 inches across, and so, you know, I'm super fortunate to have him a couple miles from my shop. And so, yeah, there's no need for me to ever get a mill. I mean, yeah, I don't see myself ever getting a mill.
You don't need it. I mean, now, if you want to build a mill yourself, the cheaper you get. You don't need to drop $20,000-$30,000.
Yeah. Hey, is there a planer, Robert? Is there a planer running in the background? I saw someone just say that the background noise sucks, and I wasn't sure if it's me with the road out here or is it.
I have a jointer going.
Oh, that might be it. That's probably it.
Yeah, we're milling floors. Is it loud?
It's pretty loud, but
Okay.
I mean, I can make do, but I saw someone comment there that it's pretty loud. So
Yeah, Jeff, you have to deal with that, man. I got floors to turn in the morning.
yeah. Work to be done. So
Work to be done.
well, let me turn you around here, and I'll give you a little tour. So this is, I got this barn. It's big. It's a 3-bay. I don't have that middle or that bay there, but I wish I did. The farmer needs it for equipment, but so yeah, these slabs are all kiln dried.
Nice. You have a kiln as well.
Yeah, I do. I got that a couple of years ago at an auction, but I've got some big. That's ash. Those are the little ones. They go out to like 69. Big white oak. Robert, how do you flatten your slabs?
I have a 30-inch jointer.
Okay. What about stuff bigger than that?
Put it on a 30-inch jointer.
No. Nice. So
what happens is it flattens one side, and we just turn it, flatten the other side.
Nice.
And if there's something we need to run over with the hand planer, the electric hand planer, we do.
Sweet. I built the router setup here with 2 routers for my table. That's how I flatten my big stuff. I got a 12-inch joiner, so I throw all my slabs on there. I used to set that up in my shop, and you can see the mess it makes. That's all sawdust. And it just made such a mess in my shop. And so once I got a semi-permanent slab storage, I built that table here, and I just leave it set up. It's pretty nice.
That makes sense.
The downside is there's actually no power here, so I have to run a generator to run my routers. But this is just this was a hay bay, so I can't drive into this bay, and so it's all stuff I have to carry over here. I've got a bunch of cookies for me making money on slabs, but a bunch of cookies here. And not to mention, I don't know, do you mill any cookies? There's more cookies.
Not often.
I
eat a lot of cookies though.
Yeah.
I don't mill a lot of cookies.
I kind of quit because you lose so many in the drying process. It's terrible.
Yeah, I don't get enough requests for cookies.
What's that?
I don't get enough requests for cookies.
Oh yeah, they're a pain in the butt to work with too. This is a big elm slab. Got this whole log I mean, I don't go far for my lumber or my logs, but I got one of the skinny slabs from that log in my shop.
Now, David DR just asked, how do you flatten your slabs?
Oh, that was here. I'll swing back over there. Try not to make you dizzy doing it. I flatten anything that's big. I've only got a 12-inch joint. Anything bigger than that, I throw on my router sled here. I've posted a couple of videos on my Instagram about it. I keep meaning to do a longer video kind of explaining how I use it. But yeah, I throw my slab on there, level it up, fasten it down, and then take the take the routers and make passes until I get a nice flat side, flip it over, and do it again.
So how do the two routers work together? They're level,
Oh,
right?
what's that?
They're level, so you're not getting two different lines.
Oh no, I usually what I do is I'll set it up so that I go lengthwise. So I always go end to end, and I'll set it up. So say this one will take a 1/4 inch pass, and then that router will be a 1/4 inch below it. That's how I
Oh,
usually do
okay.
it. So
Same line.
yeah, I'll offset them, and then as I go down through here, I'll find a high spot, make it so it's taking a 1/4. The next one takes another 1/4, and usually within that 1/2 inch, I can get most stuff flat. So it's more or less just one pass with both routers, and the side's done. Occasionally, I have to go back for another pass, but so I usually set them staggered height-wise. But if I can get the whole thing flat in 1/4, I will set them both the same. It's hard to do that without getting a line because it's almost impossible to get them perfectly the same. So that's a little tricky to try and do that, but
Yeah, that's what yeah.
and they're both 3.5 horse routers, and I make them work pretty good. Just so if anybody ever tries to build a 2-router sled, you have got to have a pin locking these routers side to side. If not, you can't hold them. When they're cutting, they want to, it's a lot of pressure. They just want to pull themselves in or across. Like, definitely want to have them fastened down really well. Any more questions on the router sled?
Nope, I think we're good.
All right, I wasn't paying attention to the comments there for a second. I start running my mouth and then forget to pay attention. But, so yeah, more slabs over here. Big book matched walnut.
Nice.
Those cherry slabs are cool. I'm dying to build a table out of those. And then
So how many
here, the farmer's got his equipment in there, but then he said I could use this end bay. Again, I can't drive in here, but I put new flooring down, and I got myself a pallet jack, so I can pull skids. As long as it's under 48 inches, I can drag them in here with the pallet jack.
Do you do all of this alone?
Pretty much. My one friend, Rex, his name's Brian, but we call him Rex. He comes and helps me stack sometimes. If he doesn't have work, he's self-employed, does construction. So yeah,
That's nice.
if he's out of work, sometimes he'll come and I'll give him a couple bucks or buy him lunch. But he's a good friend to have. Here's more cookies, walnut cookies. This tree got struck by lightning like 7 times, so it's all chewed up. The edges are all pretty crazy. But anyway, about my slabs. I'm sure you see slabs every day and try to get sick of them. But
Never get tired.
Yeah, that's my slab storage. That's all kiln ground. I also have out there in that field, the farmer rents me that as well. I've got my air drying stuff. And actually I have 3 locations for air drying stuff. And I'm trying to get it all back to here. 2 of them, one's at this farm, the other one's at the next farm down. It's another corn crib, so that was nice and close. And then the other one's like 1/10 over. It's like 10 miles away. And that one was behind one of my dad's buildings. And so, yeah, I'm trying to actually, on Tuesday, I'm basically taking all that out of there and going to the yeah, and then I'll just have everything here, this farm, all my air drying stuff anyways. So,
Right.
yeah, anyways.
Do you find it difficult to keep up with the 3 different locations?
Not so much. it's a pain having stuff over in Lewisburg. It's 10 miles, whatever. Just because of hauling it, I got to go through 2 towns to take it there and take it back. Here I go up over the hill, go to the mill, bring it here. It's 3 miles. Go on one road, don't pass any cars. So it's really nice being right here. But for the most part, my stuff I stack it on stickers, space it out, and I don't look at it again for 2 years until it's air dried.
So that ain't too bad.
No, it's not. The biggest thing is equipment. Dragging equipment over. I'm actually renting a forklift next week because I need equipment at both places. I'll have my tractor here, and then I'll have a length for the cookies. Like usually, if it's short, I'll make it into cookies, or if it has legs or something like that. But usually, if it's over, 6 feet long. But yeah, these are all getting ready. These are going to the kiln next week. These don't fit in my kiln. These are 20-footers. Be pretty nice.
Spouted too.
Yeah. Those actually came from my great-grandparents built a cabin out in Millmont, kind of out in what we would call the sticks here, even though we're probably in the sticks compared to you.
It's all relative.
We're in the sticks here. Well, go 20 miles west. But, yeah. My great-grandparents built a cabin there, and the ash trees all died, And so I cut down what was usable for lumber, had them milled up, and then used most of them back at the cabin. My sawyer's actually cut today. That's going to go out there and be flooring. So it'll be sweet when it's done, and I like, kind of keeping the wood there, going back to the property, I guess.
Exactly. Keep it there as long as you can.
Yeah, for sure.
Pick it up when you need it.
Yep. But so this, I don't know who all is watching and whatnot, but so these are my stacks. I'm sure Robert's got 10 times as many that but stick these stickers. Everything has to get stacked after you mill it. Put these stickers in between, and that lets the air flow through so it dries out. That one's walnut. That's one of the nicest walnuts I've gotten right there. And yeah, let it air dry for a while.
Yeah, and the sticker's got to be flat, otherwise the wood won't.
Yeah. I need to get some new. I need to make some new stickers. Do you mill your own, or do you? I see some guys have like these bought ones with the grooves on top.
I mill them.
Yeah.
Mostly pine.
What's that?
Mostly pine.
Oh, okay. Do you have problems with bugs?
Sometimes.
Okay.
But with pine, no. I mean, try to use one without ones. If we got stickers, throw them in the kiln.
Yeah.
If there's bugs, throw it in the kiln, let it kill it, and then use it.
Nice.
All right. You ready to hit the road?
Sure. Yeah. Do you want me to take it's 5 minutes to get home, and you probably won't be able to hear me in my truck. You want to just take a quick break, or?
I'll go for the ride, but if you want to take a break, we can take a 5-minute break.
Good luck hearing me. But,
all right.
Tell me about your move. When are you moving?
I start moving next week.
What'd you say, next week?
Yeah.
Week?
Yeah, finally. talked to some guys this morning who's going to help me out.
Oh, good. That's good. How long do you think it'll take you?
30 days.
How many?
30.
30.
Yeah, that's the guy who has the trailer is charging
Yeah.
me a cheap price, and he'll move it once a day.
How many forklifts do you have to move, you know?
Yeah, close to $1 million.
That's insane.
It is.
I moved my wood storage 2 years ago, and it took me 3 weeks by myself, and I only had to move it like 10 miles. And yeah, it was.
I'm going 60.
I don't ever want to do it again.
Exactly. It's no fun.
Yeah. I mean, I told the farmer when I moved in, I said, now I want to be here for a while. I'm not moving out anytime soon. Is that going to be all right? He said, yep, that's fine. So, we'll see. I kind of want to buy the farm just so I don't have to put my wood storage ever again.
Right. Yeah, owning is very important. So owning is important.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're at someone's mercy.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I've got super cheap rent. Like, I paid $250 for that barn.
Keep the overhead low.
Yep, that's the only way. And I mean, I started selling slabs just to help cover that cost. You know, cover my milling, cover my drying, and yeah, not have to be out of pocket so much. I lost money the first couple of years in business, and it was just because I was milling and drying too much wood. That's where my profit went.
No, Jeff, I didn't buy my new place.
What's that?
Jeff asked if I purchased my new place.
I can't hear you. Sorry with the planer. Between the planer and my truck, it's pretty loud.
He asked if I purchased my new place.
Hang on. Try that one more time.
Jeff asked if I purchased my new place. How many minutes do we have before you get home?
2 minutes. 2.
2 minutes it is. Dude. Let's.
So are you moving your saw? You're moving your saw and everything up.
Everything. Everything. So Kevin, let's get off and get back on when you get home. Let's get 2 minutes.
All right, sound good.
All right, we're going to take a 2-minute break.
All right.
What's up?
Sorry about that.
No, I just said that I thought that'd be a cool idea. We got through it. Say that again?
So that's all right. We can't win them all.
No, as I'm learning.
Yeah. But
Give it a couple seconds. They're sending out the thing that we're on,
Oh,
the
awesome.
notification. So that's a nice big piece of elm.
Yeah, it is. That's those big slabs I showed at the shop there, or at the barn. This is one of the small ones. I started turning that into a table January, and it was
Okay.
gonna be for shows, like a spec piece to take with me, and then shows all got canceled. So
Yeah. Okay. So let's get into the question.
yeah,
Am I in a bowl or glass?
no, you sound all right. Am I?
So, sound like there's a little some background noise.
Hang on, you know what? Let me pop my cover off. I've got a life case, and maybe that might be throwing us off here. Sorry, I'm priming. See if I can actually get my phone out of it. There. Is that any better?
I think so.
All right. You know, I break phones, so I gotta have a good case.
All right. So, if you had the opportunity to go to the moon, would you?
I heard that question this morning. If it was free, and if they paid for it, like, so if I got paid, I can't take a week off of work not paid. So if it was like they paid whatever I usually make and I didn't have to worry about it, probably it'd be fun, but I wouldn't feel left out if I didn't get to go. But I think it'd be sweet. It'd be sweet to see the world from not this world, you know?
Yeah.
What about you? Would you go?
No.
No.
No. You know, it's we are a very spoiled country, and although, well, what I was about to say is completely wrong. All of us are immigrants, right? So from wherever else we came, by whatever means, we've made this place home and very comfortable.
Yeah.
And the idea that I can go somewhere and possibly not come back, it's not attractive to me.
Hey, that's fair.
Yeah, I'm not willing to. I don't want to go that bad to take that chance.
Yeah.
So, now, let me tell you, I think it's a wonderful thing, man. I think it's a wonderful thing. And I also, do you believe in UFOs?
Oh yeah. I mean, I suspect we're not alone. Wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, I'm not like, oh, I've seen him, I know this is real, but it wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything, but I can't imagine we're the only beings in the universe. I can't.
No.
And it's ridiculous for us to think that we are.
Yeah.
So I hear an echo from my end.
I'm
All
not
right,
sure.
let's do it.
I've got you on a tripod. There shouldn't be too much happening.
Okay.
Might just
What
be
word
my
or phrase?
speaker.
What word or phrase do you overuse?
Sweet. I say sweet a lot.
What is your least favorite thing to do?
Fix somebody else's. I don't like fixing my own, but fixing somebody else's, even worse.
What is your most favorite thing to do?
I mean, I like building. I like designing. Probably the design, like designing, dreaming, like problem solving. That's all my favorite things, I think. And spending time with my wife and family, and that's, two sides, two different things, but both good.
What is the one thing your spouse or significant other would like to change about you?
Not a single thing. No. Possibly my ability to overlook things that are like inconvenient for me to change. So like, I bought my house 7.5 years ago. Haven't had baseboard since. Living with my wife for 4 or 5 years, whatever it's been, and it's bugged her the whole time that there's no baseboard. I don't even see it. We did just get baseboard this spring, but yeah, like if it's inconvenient for me to change or do something about it, I can just look over that, and I'll never even.
Wait, is your wife Kate?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there she is. Thumbs up. Yep.
Okay, Kate, what's the one thing he would want to change about you?
No, I do wish. What's that?
You go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, neither of us are real good at like details and accounting. Like, I know we've had a bunch of people on here that are like, "Oh, my spouse does the books." We're neither of us are good at that. Neither of us enjoy it. Like, probably wishes I knew more about cars. That's fair.
What makes you tick?
Probably like connecting with people. Like, I really enjoy, like, even this, and it's hard, with COVID, it's, everyone's spread out, spaced out, whatever, harder to have face-to-face stuff. But connecting with people, and then salvaging logs. Like, I really enjoy keeping stuff from being burnt or chipped up. They're both pretty satisfying.
What irks you the most?
I think somebody else said this, but not using turn signals. I drove to New Jersey with someone. We got the whole way to New Jersey, and they used their turn signal for the first time. That's like 2.5 hour drive. And I was like, now? Really? Now is when you choose to use it. Just, I know in the city nobody uses them, but, around here, that's
No, here a lot of people do.
Do they?
A lot of people do, and a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I see them. What sound makes you happy?
Oh, I don't know. That I don't know. What about you? Give me. I got
here. Hearing the machines go. Birds in the morning. Sometimes silence is a beautiful thing. Yeah. Thank you, David. David said New York jobs are pretty good. Everyone else is crap. What sound bothers you most?
Really, and this, I used to have a loud motorcycle, but loud motorcycles, like loud exhaust, like I used to think that was cool, and now maybe it's just because I'm getting old and cranky, but that annoys me.
What profession other than your own would you like to try?
Probably a lot. But the way things are going now, I kind of want to try and kind of don't. You know?
Yeah, it's like, why not?
Yeah. If those other people can be in, I bet I could do a good job or do a decent job too, you know?
a better job.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think so, but I'm not real humble, so.
What would you like on your tombstone?
I don't think I'll have a tombstone. I'm thinking about one of those, like, where they burn you up and then put your ashes in, like, with a tree, kind of plant you. And so maybe, like, my tombstone could just be, like, a big sycamore or something like that, you know?
Nice.
I don't need to say anything.
All right. What is it about your personality that drives your business?
Maybe my perfection. I don't know. I tend to be a perfectionist, and I think that helps like bring my quality of work up to where I want it to be, and where people appreciate it. I don't know if that's a personality trait or not, but and just my passion for wood and like conservation, and I don't know. I like to think all that comes through.
What is it about your personality that hinders your business?
Sometimes I just don't care what people think. And sometimes that may not come across real great with clients if there's, or potential clients, you know. I don't know. I'm sure there's lots of things. I'm not real good at the business end of it, like emailing and staying in contact with people, marketing, that kind of stuff, and so that I know holds my business back.
David Stein, I got floors to turn in tomorrow. I can't not run the plane.
What time do you guys work till in there?
Well, let me tell you what happened with this job. This is the job, the tree we took out of the guy's backyard, that humongous tree we put on the tow truck. Well, we milled that up. We got it right. Wim works in that's a planer. So we milled it all, tongue and grooved it all, got it to him. And he calls me this morning, last night. He goes, hey, we're gonna need more wood. I'm like, how much? And the guy's installing the floors right now. He's like, about 300 more square feet. So I make a call. I said, okay, I'll get 500 square feet. And tell me what you need, and we'll have that for tomorrow, and the rest of the wood would be for the other job. So to answer your question, we stop at 5.
Except today.
Kevin, the last 2 days. The guys were leaving at 7 and 8, and they were back at 5 a.m.
How many guys do you have working for you?
4. Yeah. Sweet. But this client is A1. It's A1. I told him what I wanted to be paid for the job, and he said send the bill. Nice. He always says send the invoice. He doesn't fight. He doesn't complain. He says send the invoice.
Those are the clients you want to have all day and keep happy.
Yeah. So and plus, David, you're right. Yes, fatigue is dangerous. But the tongue and groove we do in the morning. We're not gonna do the tongue and groove tonight. We're just gonna joint and plane.
Do you have a 4-sided molder, or how are you doing it on a router table, or what do you?
We do it on a shaper.
Okay.
A router is a little smaller. Shaper is it's a router on steroids.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't have one, so I don't think about it. Yeah.
well, you don't have one yet.
Right.
You'll get one.
I have to get a new shop first.
Yeah. And what we have is I have two shapers that are both Northfield. They're the same identical model.
Nice.
One is tongue, the other one's groove.
Sweet.
So I don't have a big fancy motor. We do it, kind of the old way.
Are you hand feeding everything through?
It's power feed. We use a power
sweet.
feed.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. Then we got a power feed on the shaper. We can mill 1,000 board feet probably hour and a half.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's definitely something you want to get into. Now, let me tell you what you just said about, we talked about the clients getting back. David Stein came over to dinner and we were talking. And his thing was, if you get slow, call your clients back.
Yeah.
He said, you call your clients back, you'll always stay busy. And you know what? He's right.
Yeah.
And that's the part of it that we fall short on, is not getting back to the client.
Yeah.
Because it's work.
Yep.
It's more work.
And that's not the part of the job that I enjoy.
But that's the part of the job that keeps the job the job.
Yeah.
Or he told you the same thing.
Yeah, I visited David Stein out at his shop about 2-3 years ago now.
Okay.
I delivered a table to Colorado Springs, and David was nice enough. He was like, "Hey, I'm about halfway if you want to stop and stay the night." So we did. It was really nice of him. And,
yeah, he's a good dude.
He is.
Okay, let me ask you this, right? When he travels, he has a bottle. Does he have a big collection of whiskey? Or does he drink it all?
I don't remember if he had a big collection of whiskey or not. I know he likes beer. I can't remember which one, Stag or something like that. But
he rolls with whiskey. I mean, yes, I'm sure he drinks beer. But he walked in with his bottle. Yeah, I don't drink either. He said Kevin doesn't drink.
I don't.
Starting beer. Yeah. Who would you travel cross country with on a motorcycle?
So I actually did that in 2010. Yeah, me and 4 other guys. We left Pennsylvania, went out west, did a bunch of the national parks, went up to Vancouver, and then we went all the way down to Panama City, to the Panama Canal. And then all the way home, 3 months. It was, me and 4 other guys from, at the time, the church I was going to. We were all in our 20s. Well, the one guy was like 19. But, yeah, we loaded up and went on a 3-month trip.
So, you had tents?
Yeah. Yep. Well, I took a hammock, but yeah, we camped the whole way in the States. We might have got a hotel or stayed with friends at one time, something like that. And then in Central America, we only camped once or twice. We usually got hotels down there, or stayed with. There was a surprising amount of people that the other guys knew going down through Mexico and Costa Rica and stuff like that. Guatemala. We had people we knew in all those countries.
Was it dangerous at all?
I mean, I'm sure, but I mean, coming back through Mexico was actually the least safe I felt. It was our last day, and we came up into Texas, and we passed like maybe 6 or 7 burnout cop cars or trucks, or, military troops. Just sitting along the side of the road, torched. Other than that, I didn't feel unsafe very often. We paid one bribe to a cop. That pissed me off, but it was $20, you know. It was $20 for 5 guys was $100.
That's a lot of gas.
Yeah, that's a tank of fuel. So, but we didn't feel unsafe. I mean, we tried to be smart, you know, and we'd get off the road. Everyone said, make sure you get off the road before dark. We make sure we found the town, got a hotel before dark. We didn't have any problems.
Okay. What was your favorite concert?
I haven't been to a concert in years. I like listening to my music when I can control the volume. But probably the last concert, and probably nobody will know who this is, but so I grew up in a church, and so we listened to Christian music. And one of the last things I did with my brother before he passed away was we went to a Delirious concert. Delirious is a band, a Christian band. I don't know, they're old now, real old. But that was in 2010. Or no. 2004. 2004 was the last concert I went to. So.
Wow. Okay. Do you have any childhood nicknames?
No. I don't think so. Kevin.
When was the last time you cried?
This past week, my wife and I have been watching The Office all the way through on Netflix, and the season finale was probably that.
What impact do you want to leave on the industry?
I doubt that I'll leave one, but
of course you will. Everybody will.
You know, if my
okay, let me say this. Let me say this. An impact is what you did and how you contributed, no matter how big or small.
So I would say if more urban trees get used because of what I do, you know, less salvage or less waste, you know, and if more people just try, you know, if they'll get out and try to do something, even if they're not going to do it for a living, like just try, you know, something like that.
What was the most difficult time for your business, and how did you overcome it?
The first 2 years, probably, and possibly right now. But the first 2 years, I had no business plan, no marketing plan, no nothing. I was just like, we'll talk more about it, I'm sure, but I was in construction, and I was over it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to build cool shit, and people are going to buy it. That was my business plan for 2 years. I didn't make a profit. So getting myself out there, like going to shows, you know, promoting my business, which is also promoting me. That's still hard for me to do, but that's what's made the difference.
Okay. Do you have any black friends?
None close. I have like friends of friends, you know, but none. I have some friends from Ecuador, some guys I play soccer with, but yeah, I don't really.
Okay. Do you often see people of color in your industry?
No, I mean you and can't remember the guy's name in Nature's Finest, Nature's
Beauty.
Yeah, Nature's Beauty. You guys are probably some of the only ones I know, you know, and that's just through Instagram. I've been in construction my whole life and woodworking, and there's not a lot of diversity.
Who would you most like to have a conversation with?
Um. Oh yeah, my sister says I have a sister-in-law that's Jamaican. So I guess that's family. I guess not friends. That's terrible. Thanks, Anna. Thanks,
Okay.
Anna. Uh,
Okay, wait a second. Wait a second. When's the last time you saw your sister-in-law?
they live in Boston, so
Yeah.
it's been a while. They were back a little bit. They were back real quick during COVID for a weekend. So a couple months.
Okay. All right.
But
So, that's it for the questions. Let's
awesome.
get into it. Give us your story. How you got started with this?
Well, how far back should I go? I got my first set of like hand tools, like hammer, nail bag, screwdriver, side cutters when I was probably like 5. That was like the best Christmas. My dad started a construction business the year I was born, so in 1986, and so I grew up like not building furniture, but building things. And that was a huge head start for me. Like I never did shop class in school or anything. I had a shop at my house to go play in. Like, I remember using, I don't know if you guys remember those Makita drills with the 9.6 volt batteries and the handles were like really long. I used to stick those things between my legs, like between my knees to hold them to drive screws in and drill holes because I was like 8, But so I started building stuff and taking stuff apart when I was pretty little. I grew up, I was actually homeschooled all the way up to like 10th grade. And so if my dad needed help on the job, I just went and helped. When there was concrete to be poured, I'd go out and help pour concrete. And then summers I worked in his shop. We would stain, poly, paint, whatever, all the trim for his construction jobs. So that was my summers. Usually was either out on the job or in the shop, putting finish on, staining stuff. And then I worked for him after high school. Thought I was going to be a mechanic, but ended up I didn't like fixing stuff. And then I went all the way. I was
Until you needed to.
Yeah, well, thankfully I'm pretty decent at it. Like I've fixed a lot of stuff. I've swapped motors, swapped transmissions. Partially out of necessity because, when the transmission goes out on your truck, you can't afford to pay someone to fix it, so you do it yourself.
Yep.
And that's been really handy skill to have, for sure. But then I'm trying to think, well, my motorcycle trip was 2010, and then I came back and didn't know what I wanted to do. And my friends Kevin and Megan Langdon, they were going to build a house, and he wanted to be his own general contractor, but he's a computer programmer and web developer. Like he didn't have super smart guy, but didn't quite have all the hands-on knowledge to build his own house. So we just that was summer 2010, I think, or no, summer 2011. And so we just worked out an hourly rate for like the next year and a half. I helped them build their house. We did everything. Like I put the driveway in, dug the foundation, did the footers. We subbed out the drywall. That was it. We did everything else, plumbing, electrical, framing. And then through that project, I haven't posted pictures for a while, but I did a set of custom metal steps. So it was metal stringers and wood treads. And I really enjoyed that process. Like I designed it, built it, and then like when it was done, it was like what I made, and it was really awesome. And that's when I figured out like I liked designing and building and not fixing other people's stuff or doing remodeling. But I still did construction, self-employed for a couple years after that, 2-3 years.
How big was the house that you all built?
It was pretty small. I think it was maybe 1,600 square feet plus the basement. It was single story. It was all like timber framed rafters, all exposed. but that was all part of like a kit or whatever. It was SIPs, structurally insulated panels for the walls, like styrofoam panels with metal reinforcement, like metal studs, was the walls on the outside, and then timber framed up the top, like rafters. And then we stick framed everything on the inside. But we subbed out I didn't install the kitchen, and I didn't do the hardwood floors, so I didn't do those things either. But yeah, we did quite a bit. So it wasn't huge, but we just worked at it. You know, they were living on the property already, and so we would work. You know, sometimes long days, sometimes short days. Sometimes it was just me. You know, Kevin had some other businesses, 2 other businesses that took his attention sometimes, so I wouldn't see him for 2 weeks. It'd just be me. And then other weeks he was there every day, all day, or we'd have a weekend work party with his family or her family. You know, people would come out and we'd set rafters and stuff like that. But it wasn't a big home, but it's really cool. To see if I can dig up some photos for that. Yes, Hannah, Ed is milling the hardwood flooring for the cabin today. That was my sister asking questions about hardwood.
And that's for the place that you built?
That was, no, they did walnut flooring at the house I built, and then we're going to do hardwood flooring at our cabin that we're remodeling. But yeah, so did construction for a while. What's that?
Whose cabin are you remodeling?
It was my great-grandparents, and they passed away, and it went to my mom. And when she got it, it had sat for like 10 years. The floor had collapsed. It was just over a crawl space, so it was a complete gut job. I dug out a full basement underneath of it. It was, dug out the crawl space to a full basement. We've been working on it for quite a few years. But we're on the final home stretch here, so.
Pretty cool. So you go from the construction, and then when did you get into doing your own thing? How did the slabs come about?
The slabs, they came about through building that home for Kevin and Megan. Because the steps I built, we took wood from their property. They had like 29 acres, all oak trees. And we cut down probably 24 trees to make room for the house. And we took the biggest, nicest ones, got them milled up. And this is where I learned about drying wood properly. And we stuck it in the basement on sticks to air dry it for maybe like 8 months, and then used it as the stair treads. Some of them definitely cracked. Some of them broke. So I won't use anything that's not been kiln dried. But so that's where I started like getting stuff milled, and then I started collecting logs on my own in 2011, 2012, something like that. And then kind of just did stuff on the side while I was doing construction. I was still self-employed. Like I've been self-employed since 2010. But then in 2013 is when I decided I wanted to get out of construction and move towards custom furniture. And so I actually worked with my friend David McSween, and he helped me come up with the website, the name, Steel and Grain. That wasn't my idea. He came up with like 20 different names for me, and we hashed it out for a while. And so he helped me come up with the website, the business name, logo, all that stuff. I'm not good at that, and I knew it would never happen if I didn't pay someone to help me with it. And then December 2013 is when I built my first piece as Steel and Grain, and actually gave that to some friends for Christmas. But
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I've
So-
been doing it ever since.
What do you find is the most challenging thing about doing it?
Marketing. that's client relations. That whole thing is not my gift. That takes the most energy for me to do. Instagram's been great, and it's great. You know, I work by myself in my shop, so I don't see people. So it's great to get inspiration and stuff like through Instagram. Not so much on Facebook for me, but I mean, I'm on Facebook, but I don't interact much. You know, there's not a woodworking community or whatever that I'm a part of. But that marketing, I hate advertisements. I hate seeing them, so I hate like putting them out there. And shows, I do, well, not this year, I don't do shows, but usually I do 4 or 5 like higher end art shows per year. And that is hard, time, stressful. You pack up all your furniture, you pack up $25,000 worth of furniture, drag it down the road in a trailer, set it up in a tent, hope it doesn't rain, you know, hope you have good weather, hope people like what you have. And that whole process, like, and that you're really putting yourself out there, because you sit there in a chair, stand there and watch people go by and hear them say, I don't like that, or my uncle could do that, or, you know, all the things. And, you know, you have good comments in there too, but, you know, people, well, that's nice, but then they look at the price tag, it's not that nice, you know, those kind of things. So that can wear on me sometimes, but I try not to. The longer I do it, the less I care. Like, exactly. I like my stuff, so I don't care if you like my stuff. I mean, I want someone to like it and buy it, but
yeah, your customers will do that.
Yeah. Do you do any shows or?
No, when we first started, like the big shows, no, I've never done.
Yeah.
When we first started, I did the flea market for 4 years straight.
Okay. Wow.
I got burned out.
No kidding. Is that like a monthly thing or a weekly?
Every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays.
That's insane. I mean, but you got yourself in front of a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That setup and teardown is brutal.
It was. Every day.
Yeah.
Unload the van, set up, break down, load the van. Next morning, go do the same thing. Oh,
about my second year in business, I got an enclosed trailer. So then that was nice because everything just stays in the trailer. You know, I don't have to go home and unload. I mean, some stuff, but not much. You know, I go home, park the trailer in the shade, and next show I just hook up and go again. That was a huge for me to get a trailer and not have to do that load unload.
Right. So, can we get a tour of the shop?
Sure.
The phone booth?
Yeah, I think that's hilarious. It feels like that some days, but I'll flip you around here. So this is my all like 483 square foot. It's a 2-car garage. When I bought my house, I bought it for, and I think someone was asking, that's an elm slab that was behind me. But when I bought my house in 2013, I knew I needed a shop. And so I bought it. I wouldn't even look at a house if it didn't have a 2-car garage. And so that's what I'm in. It's a 2-car garage. It's 23 feet by 21 feet. And I use every square inch. Yep. I've got this is my big bad welding bench. It's about 3 foot by 3 foot. Got my little Lincoln 211. And, I got yep, works well. I got it because I have
2 of them.
Yeah, nice. I had the last year or so, I had the motherboard go out on it, and cost me a couple $100 to get it up and running again, but it wasn't too bad, and the Miller service was pretty good. I was pretty happy with it. So that's basically my metalworking corner. Someday my dream is to have a dedicated bay or shop for metalworking. I don't know. Do you have your own space for metalworking? Like a separate? Yeah. Drill press, random cookies. I rented out to somebody for their wedding, and they brought them back, and there they sit. Got my metal bandsaw, just tool cabinet. I keep all my dad gave me this last year or whatever, so
Very nice.
keep a bunch of my tools and stuff in there. And then this, let me see if I can get back far enough. This bay I try and keep open just with my workbench, and then you can see my area gets smaller because I just lean stuff against the wall. But this pretty much stays open for my workbench, and then I try and keep the rest of my tools on this other bay. I got this is it Bridgewood 14-inch table saw. Picked that up used, and then to help make use of space, I have my router table. I built that. So
That's smart.
yeah. And then one of the best things I did, for years, I just had a single dust collection hose that I just drug around and plugged into machines. Finally broke down and bought some blast gates, and I have it hooked up permanent. My dust collector's upstairs, but that saves me so much time, well worth the couple bucks. And then I put this chop saw here, and I did
That's a wonderful chop saw.
Scrap bin. Yeah, again, my dad gave me that. I have been given a lot of tools. I didn't just go out and start from nothing, that's for sure. And then I got I just put these cabinets up here, and they're just all my epoxies and finishes and rags and glue and whatnot.
What do you finish with?
I use tung oil, and then I mix it. It's been a thorn in my side. I mix it with this dry fast sealer. So it's actually a floor sealer. Yeah.
Yep.
And
it dries hard.
Yeah. And it dries fast too. Do you use tung oil?
I spray on the finish. Some stuff, yeah, I do. I would use some more.
And then I was cutting it with naphtha, but that stuff's stinky. And somebody at a show told me about this milk paint company.
That's
They're
it.
citrus solvents. Yeah, that's
nice.
nice. Definitely recommend them. Or,
it ain't cheap, but it's the one.
Yeah. So I mix that, and I tried a bunch of different stuff, but when I started, I was using a floor finish, an oil-based floor finish, and the very first table I did, I ended up having to put like 6 coats on, because my shop wasn't heated back then, so I would carry the table up into my basement of my house and put the finish on there because it was above freezing, and then drag it back down and sand it, drag it back up and put finish. Well, it's a basement, and I'd get a gnat would land in, or a beard hair, I was like, I can't keep doing this. Like, it took me twice as long to finish the thing as it should have. And so I was like, I got to find something else. So I spent a good year researching and trying different finishes. And so the hand rubbed oil and the tung oil is just what I found that works best for me. I don't have room to spray. I don't have a dust-free environment. And this stuff, you wipe that on, you wipe it off, and you can sprinkle sawdust on it. It doesn't matter. So I can keep working in my shop and not have to be desperate.
And that's what it's about. Yep, it's about what works for you, period.
Yeah. I mean, I've got my buddy who we both actually used to lay block together. Now we both have furniture businesses. He sprays. He's got like 5 guys working for him. So he does a little bit more mass-produced stuff. And he, every once in a while, I'll take something out to him, have him spray it for me. But I don't like the way the conversion varnish feels. After the tung oil, it just doesn't feel, I know it's super durable and great stuff. And it's, if you have the setup to put it on, it's super easy and whatnot. But yeah, I like the tung oil, and it's a pain in the butt. I sold some finish to another woodworker in the area, and he tried it and he didn't like it, and realized you got to sand real high. Like I sand to like 800 grit or 1,000 grit. And so you wrap up some more time sanding. Like that's a trade-off.
Right.
But here, we'll pop upstairs. I'll show you. I have I do have some room upstairs. I don't know if you guys been watching that build that I did with the bookcases,
Mm-hmm.
that was all done up here. I put those double doors in so I could get them out. But it's not quite as wide up here because the roof's at an angle, but it's, you know, probably another 300 square foot. And then now I can set stuff up here with my tractor. That's my driveway and my truck, my motorcycle. But having this area, this is not heated. I mean, I can keep it warmish, but it's not. Here you go. I'll show you a nice fail. This was a water-based poly that I tried, and I've had this cookie for like 5 years. And you know how cookies like to move? Well, that water base, that stuff gets hard and it pops off. That poly pops off. So this one's mine. But yeah, I learned some lessons the hard way. Also, if you fill a crack with epoxy, it'll crack somewhere else. You're not going to stop wood from moving. I figured that out.
Yep.
But usually this is just storage and fills up with junk, kind of like it is now. But it was nice to have this space to work on stuff. But anyways, here's my dust collectors up here, and then I have a shop vac with a Dust Deputy Cyclone, and this hose I can use upstairs, downstairs, and that's my dust collector for my sander, my saw, you know, my belt sander, all that. You know, I just got I like these file cabinets. They work great for sandpaper, and then even, you know, I got tools in them. They work pretty good for stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah, I use those as well.
Yeah, and you can pick them up for like $10. So that's pretty sweet. Before it gets dark, I'll run out here. I'll show you my kiln. People probably want to see it. People want to see that. So it's getting dark, but I have this. I have a bandsaw out here. Picked that up for $300 used. 30. I think it's a 30-inch Oliver.
Very nice.
And I put it didn't have a motor, so I got a motor from a friend, 7.5 horsepower. That thing's pretty sweet. And then this is my newest tool.
Nice big blade.
Yeah, picked this up out of Penn College. They had an auction. I got it for like $400, and then I had to pay like $350 to get it loaded. That's what the riggers charge. But it's nice, hardly used. And then at another auction right down the street from me, I bought all this tooling because Penn College kept all their tooling. And so yeah, if you know anyone who needs like really big end mills, there was like 3 cabinets like this, and I just bid on them and paid like $80 for each, and got what I wanted. And then I've got to work at selling some of this or figuring out. I mean, there's some monster taps in here.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll get out to the kiln. Do you have your own kiln?
Yes.
So how big's your kiln?
40-foot container.
Oh, nice. Perfect. That's what I was going to build. And then my buddy, probably 2015, he was like, hey, there's a kiln at an auction. I was like, I don't have money to buy a kiln. But I went to the auction anyways. You'll never guess what I paid for this thing.
$100.
$100, exactly. I was the only person that bid on it. And
yeah, I've done that. I'm like, damn, I should have bid 50.
I know. I was like, why'd I bid? I should have waited. So it's old. I mean, it had a good 10, 15 years of use before I got it. It's just a storage shed. I know a guy that has a trailer that he moves storage sheds. He came, picked it up, charged me $100 to get it home, and then see if it might be too dark in here. But there's fans in the back. Yeah, it's pretty dark. But yeah, it fits about 2,000 board foot. 2 bundles, front to back. Yeah. I wish it was longer or wider. It is 10 foot tight to the doors. So I'm always fighting, trying to get a 10-foot bundle of wood through there is a challenge.
So why won't? Could you put a container there and make a kiln out of?
Not here at my place. Here, I'll show you. That's my house. My yard's a pretty good hill, and I had to level up quite a bit just to get the kiln in here. Someday I will. That'd be my next kiln. I'll get an old reefer trailer or something. But
That's what I did.
yeah. And then it was a big industrial building, and they just dried cedar, but they had electric baseboards on the ceiling in there for their heat source. And I did the math, and I was like, it's going to cost me $300 a month to run this thing. I was like, I can't do that. And so I got this. It's a natural gas shop heater.
Mm-hmm.
And so it sucks air from inside, blows it around, and blows it right back through. And my biggest hurdle, let me see if I can get it booted up, was the controls. And so I worked with a local high school kid, and we came up with the programming. And this is how I control it, because I can't find a thermostat to run 150 degrees. How do you control your kiln?
It's a knob.
What's that? Oh, it's a Nile. Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I didn't have that much cash, but so I can just bump up the temperature, bump it down. It tells me this is the dry bulb front, wet bulb front. Then I have a dry bulb and a wet bulb in the back. And for those who don't know, I can gauge my moisture content in there, and tell you how humid it is. What's that?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the whole thing, the heater was $500, and I think to build all those controls, I think it was like $300, and I paid the kid to program it. There's a lot of wiring and stuff involved. Thankfully, I knew quite a bit about that and relays. But yeah.
13D still asks, he has a question on dry time on some white oak. Long,
yeah. Long time. That's,
yep.
I mean, I know people drying, 4-quarter white oak in, 2 months, but yeah, I mean, I let it air dry for 2-3 years for, 2 or 3 inch stuff.
When I did this floor job, we cut it 1.5 inches. I left it in the kiln for 2 months, maybe close to 3. Milled it down. It was at 9. Milled it down to 1 inch. It went back up to 16.
Oof.
That was probably more of that damn Wagner meter that only reads 1/4. And I dried it. I put it back in the kiln for a week.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It went back down to 6.
Nice. Yeah, I take my time drying. It's super cheap to run my kiln. I air dry stuff down under 20%. And then sometimes I'll put it, 30 is about the highest I put in. But then you got to run it for so much longer, and there's no sense. And I mean, I have so much stuff that's down to 20% or less that it just needs to be debugged basically, and 2 weeks in the kiln, done.
Yeah. Okay. Now, okay. First, RCW Designs. Oak is the most difficult thing to dry.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult.
Have you had any luck drying hickory?
I'm sorry?
I've had terrible luck drying hickory too.
Yeah. The other thing with me is a lot of my stuff air dries for 3-4 years until I can get to it. And it's easier to dry. We also have to be wary of case hardening.
Yeah,
which
for
means
sure.
you have to mill it. You have to mill it again, like I do. And I think I do that with all of my stuff. I mill it. I bring it in there, take it from the yard, mill it, check it, and then put it in the kiln. I don't take it from the yard and put it in the kiln. We take off that 1/4, 1/8 of an inch, whatever it is, get it close to where it needs to be, and then do it.
I see.
Kingfisher foam. meters do you have? Now, I have a meter in my hand, and I'm not advertising. I don't think this is a great meter, but this is $400.
That's the one I've
This
got.
this yeah, this don't do jack. You need a meter with prongs in it that you can stick in the wood. Yeah,
Yes.
don't buy that meter.
For anything more than 2 inches, that doesn't. You're just guessing.
Yeah.
I'd try their newer one, but yeah, meters are expensive.
Yeah, I mean, you can put the meter on. You can take a belt sander, take off an eighth, put it back on, and it change. The reading changes. So yeah, don't get that meter. It's 8 quarter, been dead for 3 years before. Well, if it's been dead, that's also hard to dry. So
And logs, in my experience, logs don't dry until they're milled. People say, "Oh, the log's been sitting around for 2 years. It's got to be drier." Not really. Maybe the butt, like 6 inches, will be drier, but not inside.
yeah, once you open it up,
Yep.
it starts. Yeah, oak does smell terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Thanks for your time, man.
Absolutely. I did. If you have 4 minutes, quick, I did want to say, like, I've been given a lot of tools. Community. It's like, people like, oh, self-made this, I self-made that, and I wouldn't be near where I am if I didn't have a ton of people supporting me. Like,
Yep.
I mean, when I started, my dad had a construction business that he closed down, and he said, whatever tools you want, take them. So I started off with a table saw, a planer, a joiner, like a chop saw. I bought the welder, and since I've upgraded just about everything, but like I wouldn't have been able to start a business if I didn't have that, 10 steps up. And
yeah, I agree with that. Mine came.
Go ahead.
I agree with that 100%. Mine came from a buddy of mine working at the New York Times, and I was able to buy a jointer, my planer, my bandsaw, and fill my cabinets for $700.
Nice.
Someone hooked me up, and it's all industrial stuff. So yeah, there's no. And plus, I worked, so I slowly got into it. So there's no jumping head first.
Yeah, that was my biggest mistake with my business was I just quit doing construction and started building furniture thinking I was going to sell it. It took me like 9 months, and I sold a coffee table for $1,000. Try and pay a mortgage. Like, I have a cheap mortgage, but you can't pay bills on that. And like, I racked up, one of my biggest regrets was I racked up a ton of credit card debt because I was buying materials and paying my bills on credit cards, and that's bad news. Like, don't do that. Like, don't do that.
We got 30. Instagram is going to cut us off in 26 seconds.
Oh, all right. Well, we can wrap it up if you want, or we can jump back on. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm going to go to dinner.
All right. Go have dinner. Hey, thanks, Robert.
No, brother, thank you. You're an inspiration. You work very hard, and I love watching you.
Awesome.
Keep pushing.
Sorry we didn't quite get to all the questions, but thanks, everybody.
Yep.
Have a good night. Enjoy your day.